Welcome back to Faster and Louder. So today's a little bit different. I just want to talk about some things that I've done to the Bitchin' Banana in the past that I didn't actually make videos for, but they are somewhat significant. So I'm just going to go over those really quick. Let's get started. So one thing that I've actually shown a lot on this channel is stuff with this killed off shifter. Here, let me get my gallon of sanitizer out of the way. But I've talked about this shifter a lot, and honestly, I mean, if you watch those videos, you'll find out that it doesn't really provide anything that the factory shifter doesn't already do. It's more, I mean, it just looks way better, in my opinion. That's the main selling point, really. But I mean, being able to go like this instead of like this is kind of cool. You get a little bit of a different wobbly selection. Yeah. Something like that. So, I've talked about this shifter a lot. That's what my point is. But I haven't really talked about the transmission itself. I've had a lot of people ask me if I have a higher stall in this transmission, and I do. It is a 2800 RPM stall converter, and it's a Precision Industries torque converter. I got mine used. I got it for a really good price. I can't even remember what it was exactly now because it's been like, at least a year and a half ago that I did it. But it was less than $300. Brand new. The converters for the Nag1 transmission, the 5-speed automatic, or any other modern transmission is not cheap. They're very expensive. They're easily upwards of $800 brand new. I think this one in particular, brand new, is like $1,000. So yeah, I got a good deal on it. Supposedly it was only used for like 3,000 to 5,000 miles before I got it. It was a pain in the ass to install, so know that, because you have to drop the entire transmission. You have to pop out your old torque converter. It is really hard to get them aligned, like the spline on the torque converter, and like get it to pop in there and get all situated. It's so much work. It took Ivan and I like at least a full weekend, because we, like I said, you have to drop the whole transmission, you got to put new fluid in it, you got to make sure everything's right. We took the transmission completely out of the car and we like stood it up like basically on the tail shaft, and we finally were able to like wiggle the converter around enough that it just went and it popped right in. So after getting mad at that a million times, we finally got that to where we needed it. And I want to say, I hope I never do another torque converter ever again, but knowing me and like how I always end up with automatic transmissions, whether I want one or not. And I know that they're really good modifications, so I'm probably going to end up doing another one again, but I feel like I have a lot of experience with that now, so it might not be so bad. So I'm going to go around to the other side of the car, and I'm going to explain something else real quick. Okay, so we're in a driver's side. The reason why I'm over here is because there's a transmission control module, the TCM, and that's located over here. I believe it's right under here, or it's behind this panel. So you have to like pop this panel off. There's like some little clips and stuff like that that you have to take out, and then you can get access to this. And then the module actually is behind this. It's actually somewhat easy to get to, all things considered. So anyways, what I did is I took the factory TCM out and I replaced it with a like SRT8 one, or one that they use in the SRT8 models, or used to. Basically, it's just more aggressive programming for the transmission. It makes it hold out gears longer. It makes it a little more responsive. you know, they from the factory they try to program these transmissions to be like a really good balance. You know, they have to be concerned with emission controls. They had to be concerned with fuel mileage, you know, fuel efficiency, all that stuff. So aftermarket doesn't really care about that. You know, it's all about that performance, baby. So I took out the factory one, put in the SRT8 one, and let me tell you, I noticed pretty much no difference at all. I don't know if everybody gets kind of a different experience with that, but I didn't think that it really did anything performance wise. I think that it might have just marginally held out gears a little bit longer or whatever, but like it wasn't more responsive and that kind of thing like I was really hoping it would be. So it's pretty much pointless. And what really makes it pointless is I got the transmission tuned anyways. A lot of these Diablo Sport tuners and whatnot, for at least for Challengers this year, you couldn't even do TCM tuning with it at all. So I mean, you could increase line pressure or whatever, but that's only going to help you so much. And I ended up getting it tuned finally when I think it was when I got the cam done and all that. I didn't do the cam install, but when the shop did the cam install, I believe that's when the TCM tuning was done. They had to do some more in-depth stuff. So they made it so it would actually work better with the torque converter, because I had the torque converter without any real tune for a little bit before it actually got tuned for it. So it eventually got tuned for the 2800 stall, and it's also tuned to like hold out gears a little bit longer. So I'll try to input a little bit of video as an example here. That's kind of why you get the stall. The whole point of the stall is to kind of be a better combination with the cam and everything. Like the cam, when you want more power, you're pushing back like where your power band is and everything. So if I had to guess for this cam, it's like effectively 3000 RPM to redline pretty much. That's where you're making your power, rather than like off of idle, maybe like 1500 RPM and up. So you're pushing it back, and the torque converter is kind of like, it's like a clutch adjustment or something. It's hard to explain, but like it's basically like your factory stall is only like, you know, 1000 RPM or 1200 RPM. So it's like letting out of the clutch at 1000 RPM. If you have 2800 RPM, it's like accelerating all the way up to 2800 RPM, and then it lets the clutch out all the way. It's not really like that 100%, but that's like the easiest way I can think of to explain it. So it works with that power band with the camshaft a lot better, and it's a better combination. Now I still have the factory gearing, which is like first gear is good, second gear is kind of getting bad, and then like third gear is like your third gear in the transmission in combination with the rear end gear is not really what I would consider good for drag racing and that type of thing. So if I had 373s, second, third, even fourth would be much more usable for drag racing type of applications. Now, obviously, I don't really drag race. I don't go to the drag strip. This whole past year has pretty much just been like, you know, wiped out because of obvious reasons. But I would eventually like to go to the drag strip. So that being said, that's kind of a recap of all the things that I've done, or both things that I've done to this car that I didn't really make videos about. I'm sure there's some things here and there that I've done, but those are usually pretty small. I mean, I even did a motor mount video, if you haven't seen that, but that's a whole different thing. I did recently just take my engine cover off, which is nothing really, but the reason why I did that is because I live in Phoenix, Arizona, and it gets hot as hell, And I also have headers that are supposedly ceramic coated, but I don't think that they are. And they let a ton of engine heat that just comes straight up from the headers. I mean, the headers are like right down underneath all this, you know, these big boys right here, these huge heads on this engine, but they're tucked right underneath and they're basically shrouded by the heads like completely, and then pushed up against the inner wheel wells. So the heat barely has anywhere to go except for up the little tiny gap that there is right there. And then it gets trapped underneath this engine cover too. So it's just, you know, all that intake air is getting hot and everything because of that. So I figured I'd just try to pop it off and kind of see how that works out for me. See if there's any real noticeable difference. I doubt that it's going to be a big difference, if anything, but I figured why not try it and just see what happens. So other than that, we are still working on Randy's engine. It's the eternal project. We are hoping to get that back together pretty soon. It's just been an ongoing thing. It's like we really start putting it back together, and then there's like one piece that's wrong. Then we got to return the one that he has, wait for them to ship out the new one. It's never ending. But hopefully we can get that thing going. And man, that would be great, wouldn't it? To have more than one car to talk about on this channel again. That'd be pretty sweet. So we're gonna do that, and there's a couple other projects that are still in the pipeline. I've been teasing that for a while. It's just slow going. I'm a regular dude. I'm sorry I don't have a lot of money. Sorry. We'll get there. Don't worry about it. Anyways, thank you for watching. Please like, please subscribe, leave a comment, tell me I'm weird. I don't care, man. Just talk to me, please. Thanks, guys. Take it easy.